Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching and for tuning in for Wlbt Plus. My name is Kara Shirley. I'm your digital news desk host, and I'm very happy to be here with you today on this Tuesday, January the 28th, the last Tuesday of the year. So, yeah, we're last Tuesday of January, not of the year, last Tuesday of January. So, this month has sped by for me. I know a lot of people say that January's tend to take forever, but for me, it is going by super quick. But I do thank all of you for tuning in. If you're on our website or on our mobile app, thank you so much for being here. And if you're tuning in on any of our social media streams, whether that be Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or any of the others, don't forget you can always join in the conversation. You can leave your comments, thoughts, suggestions, questions, anything like that in the comment section. As a matter of fact, you can go ahead if you're tuning in, let me know where you are watching from right now. We do have some sad news to a story that came out of Canton yesterday, an update to the story of a kidnapping victim. We also have a child that is missing here in the Jackson area, as well as other updates to get to. Normally, I would take a look outside and we would kind of look around on the sky cams, see what's going on outside, but we're not going to do that this morning or this afternoon, rather. We're going to jump straight into the news because some of the stories that we have are very hard hitting. We will be looking at the forecast in just a little bit, a very brief look at your forecast, but we're not going to take a look outside right now. Let's first talk about the child that is missing here in the Jackson area. So here she is on your screen. This missing and endangered child alert has been issued by the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation. They say 13-year-old Frances Eccles, and this is her picture there, was last seen around 10 p.m. Friday. She was in the 200 block of Rebel Woods Drive in Jackson. They say she was wearing a black sweatshirt, black tights, and black and white sneakers. So if you have any information on the whereabouts of Frances, please contact Jackson Police Department and pass that information along to them. And yesterday, you heard about the woman that was killed early yesterday morning after she was allegedly kidnapped by her ex-boyfriend. And we have his picture here that I can show you. Here he is on your screen. So the Madison County Sheriff's Department says that Joshua Andrews, gentleman right here, has now been charged with capital murder and felon in possession of a firearm. So the deputies say that he is accused of kidnapping his ex-girlfriend, Glennis Jackson. And this is Glennis right here. She's a mother of three. She was at the Nissan plant in Canton, and that's where he kidnapped her from. He forced her into a vehicle and was driving her away from the plant when Holmes County Sheriff Willie March says that she jumped out of the car. It has been released since then that she was shot multiple times. It discovered that she had been shot multiple times. She was hit by another vehicle when she jumped out of the car. Initially, it was reported that being hit by the other vehicle is what had killed her, but then there was the discovery of her being shot multiple times. So we're really going to have to wait till we hear back on exactly what was the cause of death in this situation. It's completely and totally sad and pointless, absolutely pointless situation here. So Andrews did later, the criminal right here, he did, or alleged criminal, he did surrender to authorities in Carroll County, and he's going to be prosecuted in Madison County. He's currently being held at the Madison County Detention Center. Sheriff Randy Tucker stated that this is a heinous crime that shocks the conscience of society, and Andrews will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Again, though, here is the victim, beautiful young woman, Glennis Jackson. She had three children, and our thoughts and condolences and prayers go out to not only her children who have lost their mother in such a tragic way, but also her additional family, friends, and anybody that was connected to her. I'm assuming that she worked at the Canton, the Nissan plant. I don't believe that has actually been said whether or not she does. Uh, but if she does, thoughts and prayers are to her coworkers, just everybody that is connected to this beautiful young woman who lost her life in such a tragic way. So again, she lost her life yesterday. She was allegedly kidnapped by her ex-boyfriend from the Nissan plant in Canton. He had taken her in the vehicle going down I-55 when she exited the vehicle and was hit by another vehicle. It's been discovered that she was shot multiple times, and the alleged criminal here, Joshua Andrews, here on your screen, he is in jail in Madison County. He's been charged with capital murder. He's been charged with felon in possession of a firearm, and they say that he will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and he will be prosecuted there in Madison County. But again, our thoughts and prayers are with the family involved here. It's so incredibly, just a horrific story there. Let's see, Kreslin McCall here, sad faces, so true. Katrina here with sad faces. Great question here about Baby Bank Shy says, why do y'all keep saying allegedly? Well, because he technically has not been found guilty by a jury. He has been charged with these, but he has not been found guilty. So at this point, it is still allegedly. Now, once he is found guilty by a if he is found guilty, then that's when we can take away the word allegedly. So it's just the way the legal system works here in the United States. You are considered innocent until proven guilty. And while there may be evidence out there pointing to the guilt, we cannot say that he is for sure guilt. We have to say is alleged until he is found guilty by a jury. But thank you so much for that question. Sheila Scott saying, she was shot. OMG, who's the real murderer? Prayers to her family and for those kids. Tony Snow here saying that yes, that she did work there at the plant. Such a sad. Dana Patrick said, I was literally like, what happened to her in that car to make her jump out? That is something that it can bring to your mind, is to think the fear that she must have been going through to want to face jumping out of a moving vehicle on the interstate versus staying in that vehicle. What was happening to her? And now we know that she was shot multiple times. Tragedy all the way around. Definitely tragedy all the way around. Sheila's asking a great question. How is the driver that hit her doing? We're unaware of that. We don't have any information on the driver or who the driver was, but our thoughts and prayers go out to them as well, because I couldn't imagine being in that situation at all. Maureen says that she's praying for her family, and it's a lot of condolence comments here on our social stream. Thank you guys for doing that. But so we will continue to follow this story. We will continue to follow as this goes before the grand jury, because he will have to be indicted by a grand jury. Then before going to trial. So the indictment will have to happen. We'll follow it. We're going to follow it all the way through, and we will continue to let you guys know about what happens with this case. Again, thoughts and prayers go out to the family, friends, and especially the children of Glennis Jackson. Now we're going to move on to a situation that happened here in Jackson, where a Jackson firefighter has been charged in a hit and run. So he was a lieutenant with the Jackson Fire Department and was charged in a deadly hit and run crash. This hit and run crash, it happened on I-55. So according to the Jackson Police Department, Jeremy Burse was off duty when he ran into a pedestrian on I-55 North. He is now being charged with felony failure to stop and remain at an accident resulting in death or serious injury. So the victim has been identified as 71-year-old Ricky Taylor of Jackson. The firefighter Burse was denied bond. We'll continue to follow this story for you guys as well. And there has been an identification made in a homicide that happened this past weekend here in Jackson. So JPD identified the man that was killed. Chief Joseph Wade says 49-year-old Timothy Forrest was shot and killed on Wingfield Circle here in Jackson. 33-year-old Darius Jordan has been arrested and charged with the murder. Chief Wade says that Jordan is actually the brother of the victim's girlfriend. And that makes me think of a lot of times what Chief Wade says is the culprit behind of a lot of crimes, or the common denominator rather behind a lot of the crimes that happen, is they are familiar with each other, whether that be family, friends, stuff like that. It normally happens. The crimes and the killings normally happen, at least here's what the status has been, where it's people that know each other, friends, family, acquaintances, things like that. It's not just random crimes that happen. It's people who know each other committing crimes against each other. So yes, Darius Jordan was the victim's girlfriend's brother. He has been charged with the murder of 49-year-old Timothy Forrest, who was killed over the weekend. Again, we'll continue to follow this and keep you updated on it. Now, going back to a shooting that happened in 2023, where a man is now going to be spending 4 decades behind bars following a workplace shooting. So the district attorney of Jones County says that 22-year-old Keith Hinton, and this is Keith on your screen, he entered a plea deal for the January 16th murder of Dale Thornton. The shooting happened in May of 2023, where Hinton says authorities say, rather, that Hinton shot Thornton 3 times outside of Howard Industries. I thought the victim ended up dying about a month later. Well, this man is now going to be serving, as on your screen right here, this is the criminal here. He will now be serving 40 years in prison. The DA does say that there was actually no connection here between these two workers.
A lot of time and effort went into it on our end, preparing for trial. It was extremely tragic. We all, if you live in Jones County, you got friends and relatives that work at Howard's in some capacity, and it was a really tragic event, extremely unfortunate. Like you previously asked me, there was just no connection. This is just senseless.
So the district attorney says that Thornton's family was satisfied with the plea deal that Hinton took. Now, looking back here on our comments, Constance McDaniel is asking, did she know this guy? Yes, Constance, and we're going back to talking about the kidnapping victim that happened in Canton at the Nissan plant there on yesterday. So Constance, yes, she did know him. It was her ex-boyfriend. Then Sheila giving a very wise warning. Women, be careful who you choose to call a boyfriend, because some loves won't let you go in the end. That is so sad, so sad. I see your other questions here, Josalind and Steve on YouTube, and I will get back to those in just a little bit. If I can't answer them here during the broadcast, I will come into the comment section and give you an answer if I can. So looking here, making sure I didn't miss any of your comments, and I didn't. Okay, so we're coming back. Now we're going to look at a crime that happened in Jackson 3 years ago, where a suspect has been identified, and Jackson Police Department is actively looking for the suspect. So they're on the hunt for a man who is accused of shooting 3 people at a Jackson nightclub 3 years ago. These are the victims here on your screen. We have Deanne Bell, 20 years old, Elijah Bridges, 22 years old, and Alicia Brown, 24 years old. So these 3 victims, they were shot at the Club Rain back in October of 2024. So the shooting happened I'm sorry, let me apologize that JPD decided to reopen and investigate this case after our reporting and speaking to families of the victims in October of 2024. I apologize for that mess up right there. So the triple homicide happened at Club Rain in Jackson in 2021. There's still no answers for it. Well, what we now know, according to the Jackson Police Department, is that 35-year-old Jeremy Johnson was taken into custody days after the shooting, but he was eventually let go. He is now wanted for 3 counts of murder in relation to this. Again, this is him on your screen. So he's accused of shooting and killing 24-year-old Alicia Brown, 22-year-old Elijah Bridges, and 19-year-old Diane Bell, and injuring actually 3 other people. 3 on your side. Investigation following the event 3 years ago brought to light some details that JPD missed when they processed the crime scene. JPD Chief Joseph Wade was not the chief at the time. He says those details led them to review the case file. And now, 3 years later, the department believes that they have found the man that is responsible for these crimes.
Hopefully he'll see himself on TV and say, hey, they finally got me. I'm going to go turn myself in. This coward has held this secret for 3 years. 3 years, but now the secret is out. We know who you are. We know what happened. And we look forward to this family having their day in court.
So warrants have been issued for Johnson's arrest. Chief Wade is hoping Johnson will turn himself in. Police officers and U.S. Marshals are actively searching for him. If you have any information on his whereabouts, please contact Jackson Police Department or Crime Stoppers. So if you have that information, please contact them. Let me show you his picture again, just so you will have that. And here we go. This is him on your screen right here. Again, his name is, let me make sure I get it correct here for you guys. Jeremy Johnson, 35-year-old Jeremy Johnson. He was initially arrested in relation to this crime and then let go days later. Now, after reinvestigating this case, based on an investigation that we did here at Wlbt, JPD believes that this is the man that is responsible for the death of those 3 individuals and injuring 3 other people. If you have information on his whereabouts, please contact Jackson Police Department or Crime Stoppers. So looking here again at our comment section here, the Mike magazine, Angela. Hey, Angela, how are you doing? You say here he was featured on a talk show, Talks with 2K, and they highlighted the kidnapper's alleged toxic behavior. And now death has happened. I don't know that talk show. I'm not familiar with it, but I will look it up. Thanks for letting me know about that. Sheila Scott, and I'm assuming, Sheila, you're talking about the Club Rain shooting here, says that I think that he could beat the case because of the information left out of the case. One good lawyer and a twist of the gavel. That would be unfortunate if he was able to beat it and he really was guilty of this crime. So probably released him because he was still because he was initially a person of interest, maybe, possibly so. But now he is being looked for. So if you have any information on his whereabouts, again, here is his picture here. If you have any information on his whereabouts, please contact Jackson Police Department. His name is Jeremy Johnson, and he is 35 years old. So before we move on with any additional news here, we do got some other stories to get into, and we're going to look at the forecast. Let's hear from our sponsors at Jackson Water.
At Jackson Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. Jackson Water. Water for all the time.
And again, thank you so much to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. We do appreciate it. So let's look at our weather forecast right now. We're going to look at our temperatures. Actually, first, let's look at the camera outside, see what it's looking like over downtown Jackson. We do have some cloudy skies, but it is still a pretty day out there. Let's look over the Riverwalk here in Vicksburg. Cloudy skies over there as well. And how about let's look over the Renaissance Camry looking over Ridgeland. Lots of traffic on the interstate, so if you get out there, be super careful as you are out driving. But we got clouds everywhere, clouds everywhere. Our current temperatures, though, outside right now are in the mid 50s. Very comfortable temperature to me, at least out there. So in the 50s across the area. If we look at our current radar, he said we don't have any rain in the area, no rain expectations. Even though we do have that cloud coverage, we don't have any rain in our area. Over the next 12 hours, no rain chances. We are going to drop down to a warm 49 degrees overnight. I say warm compared to the temperatures that we've had over the past couple of weeks. I'll take 49 over, wind chill of 9 any single day of the week. But this is what we're looking like over the next 12 hours. And then as we move into our 7-day forecast, we do have some rain chances coming up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but we are looking at a beautiful weekend. Look at that, 72 and sunny on Sunday. So it's going to be a gorgeous weekend to get out there, soak up that vitamin D in warm weather. Looking forward to those temperatures for sure. So here in the capital city, the CCID court has begun hearing cases. Then it was a new CCID court. We told you Friday about the 3 judges that who were appointed to hear those cases. Here's where they were sworn in. Of course, cameras are not allowed in the courtroom for those cases, but the CCID court will handle misdemeanor offenses investigated by Capitol Police along with traffic citations. So if you have to go to traffic court, that's going to be held each Tuesday. Misdemeanor trials will be conducted on Thursdays. Initial appearances will happen each weekday morning. And this court is, of course, located on South Jefferson Street. And we have been informed that mold growth is no longer a problem at Thalia Hall, as months of works of remediation are now wrapping up. So the Jackson mayor said yesterday that all the testing was complete and the building was clear of mold, which is a very good thing. The city is now waiting for the state fire marshal inspection, which will happen Thursday. Today is Tuesday, not Wednesday. So the state fire marshal inspection will be happening on Thursday. And if all goes well, it will reopen this Friday. So the facility has been closed since August of last year after the mold was discovered. The mayor describes how the city is looking forward to the future of the venue.
We want an entertainment experience which is consistent with the 21st century, and also the upgrades that we intend on making also make Jackson available for some programming that, because we lack some of the latest amenities, we sometimes miss out on.
So the mayor says that one of those amenities may be having concessions at Thalia Hall. As a matter of fact, in his press conference that he had yesterday, he said something about he'd like to be able to see people be able to get a catfish plate there at Thalia Hall during an event. So we'll follow it. Hopefully it does open up on Friday as planned. It was, initially only supposed to be closed for like a month. And then as time went on, it just kept getting, the opening kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. Then we were told 17th of this month. Well, now Friday, the date on Friday will be, what is that? The 31st, the last day of the month. So we are looking at hopefully getting it open by Friday. Of course, we're going to follow it and keep you updated on it. And we now know how much revenue the Jackson Zoo has generated since they started being able to accept credit card readers there. So records indicate that the park has brought in just under $6,000 $800 in revenue from ticket sales. And those are numbers since October 1st when the readers were installed. Mayor Lumumba says that the true impact of the card readers will not be known until this summer because that's going to be the busiest months. That's when a true comparison can be made. He says that May, June, and July are typically the busiest months for the park. Hopefully, this can help to increase the revenue for the zoo so that improvements can be done on Jackson Zoo. Much needed improvements can be done there on the zoo. And now we move on talking about Mississippi Valley State. They have a they have a new football head coach with a very impressive resume. So yesterday, the Delta Devils officially announced their new head football coach. Super Bowl winner and Mississippi native Terrell Buckley will now lead the Delta Devils football program. Buckley recently served as the head coach of an XFL team and coached at Florida State beforehand. The College Football Hall of Famer says that this is something that he has been waiting on for a long time.
I've been ready for this. For the last 5 years. And you look at my resume, I ain't just come off retiring, playing, come off the street. I mean, I put in the work. I intentionally went back, was a GA, volunteer, worked on this and all that too. The preparation, the work I put in, the attitude, like I want to have that impact, that influence with the entire team, the community, that said that we can do it a different way.
The Buckley hopes to turn the program around after last year's 1-11 losing season. And more than a week without water. Some people have not had water for over a week, and that's people that have been served by the Reedtown Water Association. Well, they're about to get the chance to voice their concerns. There's going to be a public meeting tonight at the Bench Fire Station to hear and speak with residents about issues that they've been facing for weeks when it comes to the Reedtown Water Association. So it all started in late December when the town of Utica issued a boil water notice. They said that this was because of mechanical issues. Almost 400 customers then were affected. Then in early January, when we spoke with residents living off of Lemon Road, they had told us that they hadn't had running water for months. A second boil water notice was issued on January 22nd, and then Reedtown Water Association sent us a statement saying, quote, they are working to find a solution for those residents. Well, that statement was sent to us 3 weeks ago. Recently, affected residents have taken to social media to voice their concerns and their anger. I mean, being without water for that long, I could understand them having some anger there. So many are saying that despite their efforts, they have not been able to actually speak with someone on the phone. That's going to change tonight at this public meeting. So again, that public meeting is happening at the Bench Fire Station. So if you are part of the Reedtown Water Association, make sure you are there tonight if you need to have something to say and want to have your voice heard in this situation. And the municipal election deadlines, they are looming. Yes, they are. This Friday is actually going to be the deadline. 5 p.m. Friday of this week, the 31st, is the deadline for anyone to submit their qualification paperwork in order to run for a city government here in the city of Jackson as well as elsewhere. There are some people, for instance, the mayor of Jackson, who has not yet submitted their paperwork for qualification, or they have not yet been put on the list as qualified to run in the next mayoral race. So some of the other dates that you might want to be aware of with this is, of course, we have the deadline. That is this Friday for the municipal election. Then voter registration, that deadline is March the 4th. Now, the primary election day will be on April the 1st. No kidding, no fooling around. That will be primary election day. And then if there is a runoff, that's going to take place April 22nd. General elections are going to be held on June the 3rd, with the new term for elected leaders beginning July July the 1st. So we are, of course, anxiously awaiting to hear the updates on the qualified candidates for all of the positions, especially here in Jackson. I mean, the mayor's race has a lot of people that are running that have been qualified so far. As a matter of fact, for the not in the first week of February, but the second and third week of February, every single day here at WLBT Plus, we are going to be sitting down and talking with those that are qualified and are running for the mayor of Jackson, asking them the tough questions, allowing some of the questions that you ask on social media to be asked of them, and really digging deep, finding out why do they want to be mayor of Jackson and how can they make Jackson better? How can they improve the capital city of Mississippi? Again, those interviews, they're going to happen the second and third week of February right here, 1 p.m. weekdays on WLBT Plus. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you're tuning in for that. It's going to be one-on-one interviews, not going to have multiple of them. We're not getting into a debate or anything, but we are going to sit down and open the floor and ask some questions of them and see where they are hoping to lead the city of Jackson should they be voted mayor this year. So make sure you're tuned in for that. And then last but not least, we want to remind you of some overnight lane closures that are going to be in on I-55 here in Hinds County. So here you can see it on your screen. Crews are going to be inspecting high-mounted street lights on I-55 tonight between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. So the left lane of I-55 southbound will be closed from County Line Road to Lakeland Drive. Tomorrow and Thursday night, the left lane of I-55 northbound will be closed from Sowell Road in Byram to McDowell Road in Jackson. So if that is a time that you travel those roads, just be aware of that. Be careful as you get out. Watch out for those guys that are out there working so that they can go home safely to their families. Well, guys, that is going to be the end of WLBT Plus today. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock, 2:30 today. Our First Alert weather team will be in here with you to give you a detailed look of your forecast. So make sure you are tuned in for that then. And if you are not already, please make sure that you go and you like us on Facebook if you haven't already. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the little bell so you get notifications when we go live. You go follow us on TikTok. Once we reach 10,000 followers on TikTok, we can start going live with the daily show there as well. So go follow us on TikTok, please, and follow us on all the other major social media channels: Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. You can go follow us there for everything. So I'll be back tomorrow at 1. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow.